Okay, let's get started. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly. Happy to see you again after a short break. So today, as usual, we'll talk about what's going on with the markets. I have my screen open because I saw something interesting, I think 2 weeks ago, but I didn't get to share it because I had some family obligations that came up. After this week, I think I'll do one more before we close this season of Crypto Pulse Weekly. The next season will open after, probably way after summer. And then I think the frequency will have to reduce because I think I'll be taking up more responsibilities across board. So I sort of need some time. I need more time essentially. Where is this stuff? Okay, just give me a second. I'm trying to get my chart sorted before we get into the news. Yeah, I'm so held up that I don't have I don't have enough time to visit the charts, but let me just show you what I'm looking at. So even if you want this one, okay, let's take that. Let's take that 3-day charts or 1-day charts. I think 1-day charts might do it. Yeah, I think 1-day chart does it. Yeah, 1-day chart does it. Okay, good evening once again, gentlemen, and the guys on Instagram. Welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly. I'm not going to take too much of your time today. I'm trying as much as possible to find a way to make this like 30 minutes so that it's easier for people who don't watch live to sort of digest. So three things in the news today or throughout the week that you're probably aware of. One is the issue of Binance and the SEC suits. To explain what's going on, so basically what SEC has come up with is what you call Hail Mary allegations, or sort of throwing things at the wall to see which one will stick. So usually think of SEC as, if you're in Nigeria, think of SEC as EFCC. You see, in Nigeria, EFCC is usually for nefarious activities, even though the name says Economic and Financial Crime Commission. So they're supposed to actually prosecute government officials or people related with politicians who are committing financial crimes against the country. But what it has turned to is I can go and pay them to say, my friend, he didn't give me my money, so, and it's not, I can't get it from him, so go and harass him. If you harass him, tell him that he owes money, he will sign an undertaking, they will take the undertaking to the court, and with the police, I'll be able to get my money back. So really and truly, what's going on with SEC is that they are just like agents doing the bidding of the deep state, as Trump likes to call them. So what's happening here is that, like I said, from the suit filed by Coinbase, Gensler himself is shorting Bitcoin. That's the 2-point-something million suits, 2.5 million suits that sorry. Coinbase is suing Gensler that he has a 2.5 million short position on Bitcoin, and that's why he's throwing all this stuff around. Filing suit against Binance US, filing suit against Coinbase, coming out guns blazing, saying everything is security, because he knows that once you start putting out negative news on the market, people start to sell off. So Coinbase has now countersued the SEC chairman that is involved with market, what do you call it, insider trading and market manipulation. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. That's just come out in the last 2 or 3 days. But in the real sense of it, what is happening? Let me tell you what is happening. So, I like to start my story from the macro. What is happening is still back to that money printing event that we are recovering from COVID era. Now, to divert the attention of the world from the money printing events, the Russia war, which apparently has been in the works and planning by people like CIA for a very long time, has been put in place as a de facto proxy war for the United States and NATO to engage in. Because think about it this way, if the powers that be do not find a way to engage the populace, and we are having all this hyperinflation scenario going around and people can't afford food, there's high cost of living, and all the shenanigans, there will be breakdown in law and order. The greatest fear of the people that hold power is breakdown in law and order, because what that means is everybody will be reduced to the same level, and it becomes survival of the fittest. And by the way, the people controlling the world are not the fittest. Let me just say that in passing, they are not, super muscular, fit, and agile people. Mostly old and frail-looking human beings here and there all over the world. Well, understand that it's not. You can't separate and shouldn't separate them. Look at them as a continuum. The world has gone into a forced shutdown. It rebounded shortly after the shutdown with a huge productivity pulse. And then the Feds need to force a correction because otherwise there will be hyperinflation and the dollar will suddenly become worthless. Now, based on Fed data, July is likely to be the last quantitative tightening, meaning there will no longer be mopping up of funds from the equities market by the Fed, aka money printer starts in Q2 or Q3, sorry, or H2 of 2023. Even if money printer does not start, meaning quantitative easing doesn't start to happen immediately, one thing is sure, quantitative tightening will stop. Now, once quantitative tightening stops, everybody knows that, okay, it's easing that is next. So even people that have money on the sidelines or they have moved their money to bonds, have an issue or hitherto, they will start taking their money from the bond markets and start running into the equities markets. Even if it's only into indices and ETFs, they will try to go there first. As the money starts coming into those indices and ETFs, automatically the equity market takes a bump. And of course, once the equity market takes a bump, automatically the crypto market starts taking a bump. And then you start seeing the rise. Like I said, I expect that in the next 18 months, we'll be close to another first peak of new all-time high in the price of Bitcoin. And my guess is 100 to 120. Might not get to 120, but I think at this point, I can say categorically that we will get to 100. I'm not sure about 120. I'm not sure about what's beyond, but at the minimum, we'll get to 100. Halving is April next year. Once halving happens, you have like a 4-week drop, then the price starts to pick up. From April next year to December is 9 months. So expectedly, December to January, we should see some very, very, very high movement in the price of crypto. So now is the time, best time. Are we going to come down? That is between now and how? Yes, we're going to come down. Currently, we're in a downward trend across board, really. So let's start from the weekly. We already know we're in a downward trend from the monthly. Let's start from the monthly. From the monthly, this trend seems to have broken sideways. So if you take this now, the trend seems to have broken sideways back in January. But if you draw this trend line, it looks like we hit another trend here. And this particular trend line is in consonance with the original test and retest that we have here. So ideally, the scenario that's playing out right now puts Bitcoin back to 10,005, ideally. Technically speaking, it looks like 10,005. And I think I've gone through this discussion before. It doesn't mean it's going to get there because we didn't have a full correction when the price was coming down. When the price came down to which at 32,800, which we can resolve as the first wave, it took a correction to 38. So based on the strength of the correction, we were able to get to negative 27, which is 23,000. But it's rebounded. So even if the price recoils back now, which is very much in play right now, I think that the entry level, the re-entry level will be anywhere between 16,000 and 19,000. Personally, 19,000 will be first entry, 16,000 will be second entry. I don't think we'll be able to get to 10,005, personal opinion. And I have so many reasons, and I think I've explained, and I'll explain it again, just if it is the first time you're hearing about this. If you remember the weekly charts that I shared about the price of Bitcoin USD, I told you that the all-time high in the 2018 bull run was sitting at around 19,000. Now, that all-time high got broken successfully only for about 7 weeks, which was from the month of November last year up until December. By January, up until 2nd of January, second week in January, the price went back above that region. What it means is that demand is extremely strong in that area. When the price went back strongly, I remember then that I gave an analysis that I was expecting a 31,000 and then probably a 33,000. Apparently 33,000 did happen, but the 31,000 did happen, which was around this purple line that I had on the chart. Now, because the market has taken a rejection here, I expect that we will have a recoil back along this trend line, probably into this green zone of 17 or of 15 to 17K. Not likely that, I don't think we'll get back to that. I think we'll go back to the all-time high, which is 19K. I think there'll be a lot of demand for Bitcoin at 19K, and that would form the basis or the foundation for the next leg up from the bull run. So how can you position if you've not already positioned? If you've not already positioned, once Bitcoin goes slightly below 20,000, that's the time to go all in on all alts that you have on your radar. And the reason I'm saying that is because by the time Bitcoin is doing 19K, let me look for one of the altcoins. Let's see. Let's take Link. By the time Bitcoin is doing 19K, Link will be in this region between 4.5 and 5. To put it in perspective, the all-time high for Link was 52. So if you buy at 5.2, you are guaranteed a 10,000 or 10x return on your investments at the peak of the next bull run. So understand that Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin is our compass. I've not listed any altcoin, but I'm just talking about all the altcoins that I've told you before. What I'm saying is Bitcoin price is our compass for absolute position taking. And I think that once we see that recoil, and what I was saying before you joined was that I expect that we'll see a recoil around 15 to 19,000. But I think 19,000 will be the base because 19,000 or 18 plus was the all-time high that we had in 2018, 2017. Yes, 2018, 2017 bull run. Because of that, and because we didn't quite get into the depth of it before, the market just stood stubbornly at 16,000 for weeks and then shot back up. So what it means then is there's heavy demand between 16,000 and 19,000. So immediately the price of Bitcoin falls below 20,000. You can expect that people that missed out on the last run at 16,000 are going to go in heavy. And I don't know how to do Fibonacci time series in the future. I learned it, but I can't remember how it works, to be honest. But when you what's the word, extrapolate the charts based on, so if we say this is let's even use sorry, that's not what I wanted to use. Let's see, let's use Elliott Wave. So this is what I'm saying. 1, 2, 3, 4. Worst case scenario 5. So that's what's to look like for the price to go down. And that will take us to anywhere between, yeah, that's almost September on the weekly charts. If the price continues straight down along this trajectory. But at some point, the price is going to record. So, I mean, it might not go smooth like this. It might actually be a lot sharper. It might be something like this. In which case, that takes us to like middle of this month or something like this, which is like early next month. But what I'm saying is, there's every tendency that once the price touches this level, we'll have another impulse wave that will kick off at that point in time. I can't say what the bandwidth of that impulse wave is, but what I'm saying is we need to use the price of Bitcoin as our compass and as our direction to know when to start loading heavy on altcoins. And I gave an example of Chainlink because Chainlink is a very, very heavily capitalized coin. But if Bitcoin drops to 19K, automatically Chainlink is going to witness something like $5. And $5 for Chainlink is probably the cheapest you get it in the next 2 years. So it's I don't want to say it's not a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's an opportunity to load in on. I think somebody asked me about FTM a while ago. All the charts are looking similar for altcoins, especially older altcoins. For the newer altcoins, I mentioned a lot of altcoins here. If you check all the videos, just know that anytime the price goes down on the price of Bitcoin, it's a good time to load it. So stop connections. So this is DXY. I wanted to look at that DXY chart. Is it DXY is the dollar index? Sorry, let me put it on the daily charts. More sensible. Yeah, it's somewhat confused when I'm presenting. But if you take Ethereum as well, it's the same thing for Ethereum. Look at where the price has been. So I can't remember who I was telling this, that there was a symmetrical triangle, and we were trying to measure. I think what I was trying to do then was to measure the length, and it's close to it because actually it's peaked out at 2,100. So now, if you take it from that level, from 2,100, there's every indication that you can get. No, I mean, you can quote me. There's very, very, very likely indications that we'll get Ethereum for 1,003 or 1,000. At 1,000, flat out, very good buy. Again, we can't predict the time because it depends on market reaction. Quantitative easing might stop in July. One quantitative easing stop, the market will start to rebound because people know that the next thing is that equities and stock and indices will start to go up. So people start loading up on their positions. So because of that, it's important to realize that Bitcoin is going to serve as the compass for taking additional positions between now and the beginning of the bull run. It doesn't really matter if there's any, what can I call it now? If there's any, I don't want to use the word act of God, but cataclysmic event like, COVID-19 happened and it crashed. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, the technicals on the long term, they don't lie. They're telling you the exact situation. Just like, if you go to a doctor and say, I have a pain in this hand, and they say you should take an X-ray. An X-ray will give you a particular resolution to show you, okay, there's no bone problem, or there's some thinning of the bone or something. If you take your ultrasound will probably show you some good things about, the soft tissue. But if you take a CT scan or a PET scan, you will see what's going on because it will tell you, it will show the differentiation between all the tissue. You can tell, oh, this is where the problem is from a structural point of view. So when you're looking at market structure on a very large time frame, it's like it's like fortune telling. It's like an oracle, because it sort of shows you what is going on. And what is going on right now is that the market is plunging. The market has been essentially coming down since April, and it's not stopped. It has not stopped. So for Ethereum, actually we're quite close. For Ethereum, yes. For Ethereum, the longer term downward price is around $500 Ethereum. But before then, if it follows the same trend like Bitcoin, then it's going to be like 1,340, which is close to the one I was sharing the other time. So as far as this is concerned, it's all related to Bitcoin. It looks like a very good upward trend right now, but if you look at it in the inverse, it's almost like still, as a matter of fact, it's still part of the longer term downtrend. Now I'll show you what I mean right now. So if we use Elliott-Wav's theory of impulse correction, this is impulse correction, this is impulse. We can take this as correction because it's higher than, it's almost at par with this, so we can take it as correction. So really and truly, the final leg should be somewhere down there, or the final leg can be at the same level as the former bottom, which is here at $800 Ethereum. Again, we're not trying. Yes, you can sell and bank to USDT if you don't want to see your. If you don't want to see your, somebody asked a question that should one sell and bank to USDT. If you don't want to go with the dip, you can sell and bank to USDT. But I very much suspect that the market makers are trying to force the plunge, and that's why you have all this crazy news coming back to back. What is SEC? What is SEC charging Binance for? That they are collecting money. It's a US company. That is their business. They have license to conduct crypto business in the US. So really and truly, like I said, it's just like throwing, firecrackers and see which one of them will light your garment on fire. That's exactly what they're doing. And yeah, and the news keeps coming out just to make the market plunge further. But just understand that those are the key points. If Ethereum gets to 500, that's rock bottom. Rock bottom. That's take it from me anyway. 450, 495, that's the rock bottom for Ethereum. Once it gets to that level, it's going to shoot back up immediately. Even if it gets to 500, chances are it will shoot back up immediately. But that's on the weekly charts. That's the way the market structure looks. And it's very, very difficult for the market not to follow structure at this level. At this level, nobody can manipulate the market because it's a weekly chart, long-term fundamental. So, but we must keep in mind that Bitcoin is the master. So wherever Bitcoin goes, that's the compass for the market. So right now, Bitcoin is still heading downward and it's taking that downward plunge. So if it goes in free fall in the next few days, then this downward trend will be very shortly. If it goes the way it's going right now, as taking one step backward and one step forward, then it might take a while to get down there. So that's the way the market looks right now. Is crypto going away? Like somebody asked me, like, is crypto going away? Crypto is not going away. To give you a good example, for guys in Nigeria, the government now recognizes that crypto is a digital asset, and they want to introduce 10% capital gains. I will organize a class for people in Nigeria on that topic if you want to maximize it and not expose yourself to crypto tax in Nigeria. I was depending on how many people show interest, I will organize a class in July. Yeah, just I'll do a poll on the WhatsApp group. Depending on how many people are interested, and I'll determine when I can do the class. I can't do the class this month. I'm too held up. But there are things to consider when you want to optimize for tax efficiency. I'm not saying you should not pay tax. I'm just saying there are smarter ways to deal with tax issues than to behave like a pawn. Let me use that word. The richest of the richest people have a way of not paying the most across, and that is not just in Nigeria; it's everywhere in the world. So you should like that book says, think and grow rich. If you want to think and grow rich, you should think like the rich and do what the rich people do habitually in certain scenarios. So there are things that needs to be done in this scenario to ensure that you don't expose yourself unnecessarily. So that's that in terms of, for the SEC drama. That drama is going to continue. Yes, I did promise I'll look into PLX. I did, and I think, I'm not sure. I think I had a discussion about it. But if not, I can do a quick rerun. I think I did the following week or 2 weeks after. I think I did some expose around PLS and HEX. 1 second, let me look at my tabs. Does it mean I've taken it off? Okay. Probably I've closed it. I think I closed it. So I'll summarize what I said based on my findings on that day. PLS, PLSX, and HEX are all part of the pulse chain ecosystem. Now, what Richard Hart has done, like I rightly deduced the first time we talked about this, was he has taken the philosophy of Bitcoin and Ethereum and he has combined it and cloned Ethereum network. Literally, he cloned it. So Ethereum, the PRC21 network is a fork of the Ethereum network. When they say it's a fork, it can be either of three things. A fork can be an upgrade of the same network, like you have the different forks that's gone on, all the upgrades that have gone on in Ethereum this year, the one on Bitcoin last year, the one they did that allowed BRC20, all those are soft forks, which are like version updates. Then you have hard forks, which are essentially OS like a change in OS. So let's use Windows. A soft fork is like applying Windows updates, the ones that come to your computer from time to time, and you need to apply it. Those are like patches. Those are soft forks. The hard forks are like, you go from Windows 95. I don't know how many people will remember Windows 95, but that's a really long time. Let's say Windows 2000. Even Windows 2000 is a long time. Okay, Windows Millennium. No, Windows Millennium is a long one to Windows XP, maybe. Let's say you go from Windows XP to Windows 11, or you go from Windows 10 to Windows 11. That's a hard fork, because what it means from blockchain perspective, you are changing the fundamental structure of the blockchain. So what will then happen is the old fork will be jettisoned and the new fork will be taken on. So, no, DOS prompt is able to call. That was harsh. Yeah, you're jettisoned it. So you can go, yeah, DOS prompt actually, you can say if you went from DOS prompt to Microsoft Windows, that's the hard fork because you have changed the fundamental structure of the operating system. So in the same way in blockchains, when a blockchain goes through a hard fork, there is a split. And when that split happens, both forks can still function, as in they will still continue to go. But one will be the main and one will be the, the legacy. So in the case of Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin network is Bitcoin SV. That was the original network that was started. Now, as the network started gaining ground and increasing in transactions, a lot of suggestions came up and people wanted to put in updates and all that. Eventually, the newer guys won, and then there was a hard fork in 2003 or thereabouts, which brought about the Bitcoin that we have now. So the Bitcoin that we have now took on the original history of the previous Bitcoin with added upgrade that fundamentally changes the behavior of the blockchain. The original Bitcoin is still there because some of the developers felt this version was the original vision of the founder. So they call it Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So people still use it. The OGC use it. It's not as enticing as the current Bitcoin because this Bitcoin Satoshi Vision was the one that brought in the institutional investors. So where is it? So this is Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. It's still selling at 33. At the peak of the market, it sold at 484. So this is an old fork of the Bitcoin network. This is the original one, untouched as is, as in the structure has not changed. And because the structure has not changed, some of the old validators are still there. They're still mining, but the value of their mining and the value of the effort has now moved on to the new Bitcoin network, which is the current one that we have. So that's the second type of fork, hard fork. Then there's a clone fork, which I just take everything that this particular blockchain has, copy and paste and edit, copy, edit and paste, and I make it my new blockchain. So that's what Richard Hart has done with ERC20. But what I wanted to say, or what I did say, because I remember I discussed it, what I said there was that they all have good fundamentals. They all have very good potential. Sorry. I was looking for pulse chain. I'm not sure which of my, why is it coming up here? I'm not sure which of my browsers has it. But I remember going there because apparently I had some, what's it called, pulse chain that I sacrificed. I didn't even remember that it was still accessible. So when I tried to use it, I found out that you could actually use PLS as why is it not changing? Okay, hold on. You could use PLS as proof. So I want to show you something. Switch. Yeah, so this is pulsechain.com. It's trying to take away volume from Ethereum. So it's an exact copy of Ethereum, by the way. So you can see I've connected my what's it called to the Pulsechain network now. It's showing 0.001 PLS. Oh, okay. I know what happened. I have it on another browser. I just remembered now. I'll show you what's showing up on mine. So it's an exact copy of the Ethereum network. And as such, the unique value proposition is that it's faster than what's it called? It's faster than, yeah. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. It's faster than Ethereum. So I staked this. I actually forgot that I staked this long time ago. And when I go to my MetaMask on this browser, I see that I actually do have a number of PLS. This is PLS. I have a number of PLS on this browser. I have some PLSX. I think I tried some, yeah. So what happened was I tried to run the transaction on the Pulse chain network and it went. So on Pulse Swap, which is, where is that Pulse Swap again? I can't find it. Anyways, basically the reason I have all of this is because I tried to change, I changed some of the PLS I had to PLSX. That was how I got the, yeah, so where is this stuff? PLSX. Okay, yeah. Let's see. So I used the PLSX platform to connect to MetaMask. And with that PLSX, you can buy the tokens that are resident on this PRC20 network. Sorry, guys, the guys on Instagram, I need to switch on my lights. Yeah. It's just getting dark here. Anyways, so in terms of my assessment, it's still very slow. I think, I don't know whether it's because of traffic or maybe because the dev is not complete. But one thing I can tell you is that they're all going to pump. Going by Richard Hart's credentials, I can tell you that at the minimum, you get a 10x pump at the minimum on any of these PRC20 tokens. So the same way you have ERC20 is basically done ERC20. He has his own followers and he has a very strong community in the social media world. That's all you need to know, right? Yeah. So if you want to pack your bags, please feel free to pack your bags. Not a financial advice, of course, but the precedence of Richard Hart and his community engagement shows that you get a decent 10x from any of your investments. So, okay, this is the Explorer, this is the bridge, this is the validator. So, yeah, PulseX is what I was looking for. So, just like, you know, it's trying to create a bouquet around the ecosystem. So you have the token, you have the platform, you have the Explorer that looks like Ethereum Explorer. You have the DeFi platform, which is PulseX. So think of PulseX like Uniswap token. Think of PLS like Ethereum. So PLS is like the gas. So if you say sell 40 PLS into PLSX, for instance, it will give you one weight, and it will charge you, I don't know, I can't remember what to charge. It will charge you, what's the fee again? It will charge you 0.34691 PLS. So if you do that, it works pretty much like Uniswap. So confirm. So I think I've done justice to the, so exactly it works the same way. So for people who are looking for bags to pack, you can pack your bags. This one is it's very, I mean, it's it has a hold on how people are able to sell and all that. But if you pack your bags, you'll be able to sell a good deal. When the market starts pumping, when it starts making news, it will start making news at the peak of the market. You start seeing it on billboards, you start seeing it especially in London. I mean, I missed out on Hex. And the only reason I missed out on Hex was because somebody told me that, oh, I listened to that guy. He doesn't know like he knows what he's talking about. That they asked him some question, he couldn't answer that. It looks like he might be a fraud. And that time I was very like, okay, very strained for cash. I was like, oh, we can't waste cash. I was not sure. So I left it. But I mean, Hex did like 50x or thereabouts from that point on time, from where I found about it to the all-time high. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on in this new season. Because what happens, by the way, is that every cycle, more and more people get, involved, and there's more adoption. So usually more adoption, there is more free money. Let me use that word. What I mean by more free money is because with each cycle of quantitative easing and quantitative tightening, the amount that is coming into the equity market increases with each of the times that the Fed does this kind of manipulation, or manipulation is the word that I was going to use experiment, but manipulation is the word. But we can use experiments. But each time they do it, so next time, let me take it to, I want to show you what's it called? Market cap. Let me look overall market cap. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So this is the overall market cap of crypto. To explain what I just told you, that each time you have a bull run, the volume and the market capitalization always increases. So this is 1st of January 2018, the peak of the last bull, the penultimate, or is it penultimate now? The one before the last, essentially, 746 billion was the overall market cap at that point in time when it peaked. When it peaked for the first time in April of 2021, 2021, April, May, it was 2.5. That's 3x. The overall market cap did 3x from the previous all-time high. It pulled back by almost half. Then it went and did 4x plus from previous all-time high. So if we take this as our bottom right now, at the minimum, I expect 2 to 4x. 2 to 4x of 728. In fact, as a matter of fact, that's actually not a good representation. Let me change my graph to logarithmic. Logarithmic scale is much better. It wants to break my tongue. Anyways, so if you do logarithmic scale, this is what it looks like. So logarithmic scale actually shows you the real progression of price. The auto tends to shorten it for the view. So from logarithmic scale, this was all-time high 2016. I mean 2016. That was the all-time high before the bull run. Then all-time, that was around, how much was that? That was 12.4 billion. Then it went all the way to 718 billion. Now, all that money that's got before then, or after then, sorry, was when the COVID stuff happened. I think around February 2020, when it dropped. It didn't quite drop at the previous low of 2019, but it dropped significantly. Now, what I'm saying is this. If we apply the same logic and said the price may to bottom here. Sorry. Why is it? It's not showing me. Come on, man. Anyways, I can't seem to draw on this logarithmic scale. What I wanted to show you was this line. So this 93 billion line was what got tested after the all-time high. So the 93 billion line was like the low from 774. So we almost had a 90% loss on market capitalization before the market starts to pick up again. So now let's look at this. Let me switch back to auto. Let's take this now. Let me measure. What's the measure to? So This is peak from 2021 November at almost 3 billion. I'll answer your question. Let me just finish this analysis. So right now we have a 74% loss in market capitalization. I don't think we're going to go lower than 80% loss. And I can give you my reasons. One, because if we technically plot this, this is no longer working on mine, sorry. Take out the log. Yeah, I need to refresh this for this to show now. So if we plot this on a Fibonacci plot line, you already see that the price has bottomed out. It's almost like you have a double bottom here. So even if there is a bad reaction now, based on the price now hitting this line back, I don't expect it to cross below the 721 billion line or 700 billion line. From that line, if you do a 3x, that's 2.1 billion. In fact, what am I saying? From this line, which is 736, let's take that as the bottom, back to all-time high is 300%. So anything that is bought now, approximately 3x is the minimum return you can get, just based off the market capitalization price action. For different tokens, of course, there will be different behaviors for different tokens, but that's just the minimum you can get. So the question I have, can you tell us about what the price of Quant? I have Quant somewhere, and I think I discussed the price of Quant before. Good projects, but really and truly, a lot of people have lost money because the crypto market is taking a bleeder. But projects like Quant, ICP, HNT, I mean, those are really fantastic projects that have very strong backing. What's wrong with this thing now? So until my chart comes up, I can't tell you what's happening to Quant, unfortunately. But to answer your question about Ledger, okay, I actually wanted to talk about this a long time ago. Should have. Sorry about that. I don't think you should put your coins on Ledger. I've jettisoned my Ledger. You can download SafePal. Also, you can have specific phones that the only thing they are doing for you is hardware wallet. What do I mean? Ledger is essentially operating like the wallet apps that you have on your phone. So you might as well just dedicate one phone where all your wallets are. You don't use that phone to call. You don't take that phone out of the house. You have it in a safe place. You have your keywords, key phrases in a safe place, and you put it on the phone. As long as the phone is in the house and you know where you've written all your stuff, then you should be good. I just showed you the site now. Where do you buy PulseChain? I just showed you the site, pulsechain.com. It's rare. It's there, right there, pulsechain.com. See, buy PLS. Once you click buy PLS, it will give you option to buy PLS. I see the guy writing no USA. He doesn't want SEC problem. Anyways. So you can buy it, Africa. How about you can buy it on pulsechain.com. You can also buy it on the app, which is the DeFi platform. But in this case, you will need either Ethereum DAI, USDC from Ethereum, or USDT from Ethereum. You can also get, I think you can buy WrapTrade. Oh, okay. See, BamBam is giving you some very nice on safetrade.com. I don't know, but I think the ones I had, I bought through this bridge. So then you can also bridge some of your tokens on their bridge to buy PLS. Hex is already available. Let me see what's on safetrade.com. X is already available on most exchanges anyway. Oh, another thing is the problem with Gate.io. I understand that they're going down. So if you have your token there, please take it out. SafeTrade. SafeTrade. Safe.trade. It's not SafeTrade, it's Safe.trade. Okay, this looks like another DeFi exchange. There's an exchange that looks like this. I think it's CSS.com, CSS.swap. It's exactly like this. Then there is one, the DXDY. Yeah, DXDY also looks like this. They are decentralized or semi-decentralized trading, trading platform. I don't have these accounts, but I'll check them out. But again, I prefer to buy into the wallet. So usually what happens is if you go to Pulse Chain and you have like a mobile wallet or you went to Pulse Chain from your MetaMask. So if you're using a phone, you can go to your MetaMask. Okay, because the bridge was slow. Yeah, okay, you bought with USDT. So somebody said you bought with USDT on safetrade.com. So if you can buy with USDT there, that's fine. But yeah, you get some decent pump, intrinsic pumps from Richard Hart's ecosystem. It's an OG. It's been around since the beginning, since the Bitcoin beginning, and it's just he's leveraging his knowledge and experience of the ecosystem to make money and pump the markets. So yes, everything PLS is a decent bet, quote and unquote. Okay, so yes, so in terms of wallet that you can use as alternative to Ledger, Trust Wallet, SafePal, my Ethereum wallet, Trust Wallet, SafePal, my Ethereum wallet, Crypto.com DeFi wallet, MetaMask phone wallet. There's a one for Coinbase, but it's beginning to look funny now. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I dislodged myself from Coinbase because they were misbehaving during the bull run. So I closed down my account with them. Anyways, that's all I have for today. If you have any question, I think I only have 3 minutes left. If there are any other question, please put it on the chats or put it on the chat if you're on Instagram before we close out for today. Let me see. Have I answered all the questions? I don't think so.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Bam Bam.
Yeah, sorry, I want to find out, is it possible maybe next week you could list maybe coins that you feel that we can bag? You know, we could talk about different coins every now and then, but is it possible to make a list of the ones you think? Of course, we know it's not financial advice, but maybe from your own point of view, the coins you feel we should bag. And maybe if possible, maybe you can do something like maybe using maybe if you have $10,000 or $5,000 or something, how maybe we can allocate those funds to, you understand, the coins, if it's something you can do. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Two things. I do talk about coins from time to time, and the reason I don't like to be extremely prescriptive is because people have various levels of risk appetite, and you don't want to you don't want to get people into something they're not familiar with. So it's very important that people they're taking informed, let me use that word, informed decisions. As a result, I'm usually very, very circumspect when introducing people to coins or telling them about this is the coin you should buy, or I think you should back this coin. Because one, we manage complexities at various levels. And when you have more than 50 tokens in your bag, it becomes very, very difficult to manage and track. So because of that, I'm usually, I'm talking from personal experience. I'm usually on the conservative part in recommending coins for people. If you can manage it, if you have, what's it called, CoinGecko app to manage your coin market cap to manage your portfolio, that's fine. But just understand that you don't want to have too much. It's a good to have the coin tracking app, and I think I've talked about it so many times over the years. They need to have a portfolio tracking app because it tells you by how much you're profitable, and you can, for each of them, determine, what's my profitability exit. Because for everybody that's been following me, at this point, you need to know that the market's in cycle. So if you don't close out at the peak of the cycle, you're going to hold the bag throughout the low period. So why do you want to hold the bag? Why not close out? You can move the money to other things, then come back again and get in for low. So personally, for contracting, I prefer CoinGecko. Again, I would, if depending on interest, I can retake the class. I took the class, I think 2 years ago, to show people how to track their coins. Once you have more than 10, I think, even if you have 5, I think you should track it. And the reason you should track it is because it helps you to know at which price you bought what. And it's something that's done 10x. You can take out your initial capital. It has done among above 10x. I think so. Okay, somebody says Binance. Okay, I think you are one of the people that joined early. I'm not sure that it was you or someone Mills, but I started by the news of Binance and SEC. See, Gary Gensler is just a joker as far as I'm concerned. Coinbase has sued Gary Gensler now that he has a 2.5 million shorts on Bitcoin. So there's conflict of interest, market manipulation, insider trading against him as the chairman of SEC. Even if it's not true, it's almost like they've used that one to hold him. So, but knowing how they operate, I don't think it's out of the ordinary. Because let me give you an example. The same weekend that the chairman or the president of JP Morgan in 2018 was running down Bitcoin and saying, if I catch any of my traders trading that shit, I'm going to sack them. That same weekend, JP Morgan was loading up on Bitcoin. They were loading, as people are dumping, they were just buying and scooping up people's Bitcoin. So these guys are jokers. So, I don't take anybody serious when they come on any platform to say stuff. I've talked about Binance and the operating model before. So in business, when you set up a business, you have what the operating concern or a legal entity. The legal entity is the individual unit of responsibility for the purpose of financial accounting. Now, that legal entity is the business DNA, or not the DNA. I'm looking for a better. Is the legal name of the business. Let me use that word. It's like the legal name of the business. It is what you use to identify the business in the universe of businesses. Now, Binance has what you call a Binance US company, which is a company registered in the US jurisdiction and trading in the US. Binance US company is an independent legal entity that Binance Global has shares in. So it's usually, if you want to build a global company, what you usually do is you have your headquarters somewhere that's a tax haven, like Barbados, like Cyprus, like Switzerland, like Bahamas. And then you have the company that is producing the money and the income wherever the companies that the legal entities that's producing the income, you have them wherever you have them, like US, UK, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Hong Kong. So what then happens is, as those companies are trading, those companies are making money, they would send their profits, part of their profits, because they are partly owned by the parent company. Part of their profits will be warehoused to the parent company. So usually, like Binance US, if it's 50% that's owned by Binance Global, once they declare profit, 50% must come to Binance.com. Now, what is paying them in US is because they can't sue Binance.com. It's not a US jurisdiction. It doesn't have anything to do with US, really. What's it called that they said they wanted to sue this chairman of the owner of Binance.com. It doesn't have to, the suits that they filed, it doesn't have to appear. You just need to send them a document. So as I said, they will just keep throwing stuff at him because right now he's the most prominent crypto head, quote unquote. The previous whatever it was, what's this guy, Hayes of Bitfinex or BitMEX, that they were trying to harass that time because they were the biggest crypto exchange. So I'm not surprised. But because one, CZ is not staying in US, he's not staying in, even though he grew up in Canada, he's not staying in US, he's not staying in Canada right now. He's usually in Singapore, Hong Kong, or Dubai. So nothing they do, they can't, he has not committed any crime in the US. They are board members, they are MDs that they have for Binance US. So they will just use Binance US to create fraud for BNB and Binance because they know once they say Binance, people will not be able to distinguish that it's a separate and independent legal entity. So really, and they can't close Binance US. No. You also don't want to leave that the 320 million people markets. You don't want to leave that market alone. If you have the opportunity, you want to tap as much as you want. I think that's all I have for today. Yeah. So no issues about Binance.com. Guys in the US, I don't want to talk about US today. Before they send CIA after me, I'm not talking about US. I'm not talking about US. But really, there's nothing. If you have Binance.com, nothing is going to happen to your accounts. All right, guys. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you, everyone. See you again next week.
Good night. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Bye.